Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Authentically Angie Denise, and today I will be reacting to the new trophy wife, aka Isis Morales, and the tragic situation that is surrounding her family at the moment. This is going to be a reaction video, not a bashing video. I think how she handled it was absolutely amazing. Now, in a previous video, she has stated that she was a follower of Kevin Samuels, and given the situation that she is now going through, I thought it was pertinent for me to add the clip of what Kevin Samuels said he would suggest women to do if they ever faced a situation like this. Please like, share, and subscribe. And now, without further ado, I'm going to let the video play.
It's been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband. I honestly don't even really know where to start with this, just because it's just such a hard topic. And I honestly thought that by the time I got on here that I wouldn't have any tears left because I've just cried so much. It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, the type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. And I really thought that that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man. And I believed him. I think shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him. And I just started to see a few things that I didn't like. But I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past.
Before they married, they only dated for a short amount of time. And I believe that her husband had a mask on, so he was pretending to be the upright Christian, good man, Prince Charming that she thought he was. If you look in the upper right corner, she writes, he graped her 4 times in their marriage in the first few months. Even though they are married, you have to give consent in order to participate in any sexual activity. The fact that he was willing to violate her boundaries showed a clear flaw in his character. And I wish she took that as a sign to leave him instead of staying with him and having 3 more children.
It was like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Gosh. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was daddy.
I do understand her shock, and I want to say that there's no amount of vetting that would have been able to let her know that he would be a PEDO. There's no way to vet that, so I hope that she is not blaming herself. I'm pretty sure that she truly believed he was an upstanding person. The only thing that I can say is that since he did not respect her giving him consent for her body, it doesn't surprise me that he would not respect anyone else's boundaries when it comes to their bodies. But no one would think that he would do that to his own children. No one would think that. So I hope that she does not blame herself for not seeing that.
I felt like my world ended on that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house, because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my two older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister, because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids, and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. When I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old.
Both of her daughters are his biological children. The 2 older children that she has are boys, but the 2 girls are his biological daughters. It is reasonable for anyone to believe that children should be safe with their biological father unattended. So in no way, shape, or form should she blame herself, or should anyone blame her for this unfortunate situation.
It still feels like a dream. Like, when this first happened, I just kept waking up every day and just hoping that this was a dream. Because it's literally my worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare. I myself am a product of RAPE. That's how I came to be. And was also, abused as a child by a neighbor's husband. And I specifically prayed to God that my children would never, ever, ever have to go through this. And I'm just not quite sure how this happened, why this happened.
She has been through significant trauma in her life. She was a product of SA, and she was also SA'd as a child. This is beyond sad. And I pray that you guys have mercy and have empathy for her as well as her daughters. Given her history, I'm sure she was very vigilant in keeping them safe, and she thought that they could be safe at home.
I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky, because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk. Like, I don't like them sitting on people's laps. None of that. And he knows how much I cannot stand men like him. And to think like I couldn't even go to sleep in my own house and know that my children are safe. Just by me going to sleep, my children were left unprotected.
Going forward, I hope that she and her children get the much needed therapy that they need to heal from the situation. I hope that justice will be served and that her and her children will be safe going forward. And I hope that she has a side business that she can use so that she can take care of her and her 5 children going forward. And I hope that she can pivot her platform and use it for some type of monetary gain for her to be able to support her children.
So I don't know what the future of this channel is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to change the name or what. Um, yeah.
In the next clip, we will hear what her thoughts were regarding the Manosphere, Red Pill content, and the leader of the Manosphere, Kevin Samuels, and we will hear about her criticisms of those who opposed him. If Kevin Samuels was alive today, he would say the most harshest things regarding her situation, and that clip I have linked at the end. Again, this video is not to bash her. This video is a learning lesson for all of us.
The other side of the women's movement and women finally starting to realize our worth and becoming more feminine, leveling up our looks, is the Manosphere Red Pill side of things, which was formerly led by Kevin Samuels. Now, I didn't discover Kevin Samuels until after I was married, and I discovered him before he actually became viral with the Average at Best video. And you know, his channel grew insanely fast. There was so many men that, you know, loved Kevin and were rooting for him and believed in his message. And when I listened to Kevin Samuels, I learned a lot about the way women see relationships and the way that men see relationships. I learned that we rate ourselves and each other differently than how men rate us. And that was illuminating to me. He also talked about the importance of staying in shape and being fit, and how that can either work for you or work against you in the dating market and even in a marriage. He had me, you know, making sure that I'm keeping my body together and I'm, you know, staying just as good as I looked when my husband met me, you know, not falling behind or slacking on my fitness. And I think that so many women hated Kevin Samuels because of the delivery rather than the message. I think there's so many of us that grew up without a father, and therefore it's very hard for us to accept certain messages from men, especially from Black men.
Now here I will have to vehemently disagree with her. If women did not like his message, it wasn't because they did not have a father and they couldn't take criticism from a Black man. It was more so because he was mean. Simple. He was mean. If you have a pie and you put a little bit of poop in the pie, it's not edible. So just because somebody can say something that's truthful, something that's helpful, if they also include a lot of vitriol, a lot of disgusting, rude things in there, you're not going to like the message. The message will not be a good message.
My husband is Black, and you know, some of the women that work for him, the women that are Black women, have a harder time letting him lead because he's Black.
Because she doesn't work with her husband, it would not be safe to assume that the Black women that worked with her husband did not respect him because he was Black. Now, based on what we know, because he has issues with boundaries and consent and self-control, and he has poor moral character, we can assume that whatever he told her when he came home was not true in the office. Most likely, the women had trouble with him because he was bringing the trouble in the office. But there's no way for any of us to know because we do not work with her husband. But for her to say that the Black women did not like him because he was Black is a very wild statement. Again, this is not to bash her. This is just an observation.
And that, you know, is just something that goes on in our community. So I think that had a lot to do with why so many women hated Kevin Samuels. And it's so funny to me when I get comments, people spewing Kevin Samuels rhetoric in my comment section, and I'm just laughing to myself because they don't even realize that I agree with a lot of his message. He talked about how men should be paying the bills and should be providers. That's the same thing Shira says. And that's the same thing that has been happening for years before the age of feminism.
Kevin Samuels and Shira 7 preached entirely different ideologies. Kevin Samuels believed that only a certain sector of women could get a high value man, and those that could get the high value man would have the man pay all of the bills, but he would also have complete dominion and control over her. He also advocated for domestic discipline, which is beating your wife. In addition to high value men being able to practice domestic discipline with their wives, he also believed that high value men had the right to cheat with multiple women and you just had to deal with it. I'm only mentioning this to show why there was a wide amount of women that had an issue with the words that he spoke with his message. It had nothing to do with women not having fathers. They simply did not like the message because they felt it was wild and unfair. Kevin Samuels did not believe that every woman could get a high value man. And for the ones that he felt were not desirable enough for a high value man, he equated their facial features, their body, their paycheck. Basically, he told them to date lower basically you don't have the looks, or you don't have the weight or whatever requirement that I think is necessary for you to get a high value man. Therefore, you should lower your standards and be with a man that makes approximately $45,000 a year, because that is what the average man makes.
And while I do love that women are able to choose now, I also think that we're starting to realize that we don't want to do some of the things that men have to do. We don't want to have that burden and weight on our shoulders of having to provide for a family. It agrees with our DNA, our bodies, our hormones more to be able to rest in our femininity and be home with our children. So I think that in a way, a lot of the values are aligned with what they're both speaking about. And I actually couldn't believe how many people were cheering over the fact that this man had passed away. To me, that was sad and unnecessary, because at the end of the day, I believe that he was teaching women how to qualify for the men that they want and teaching men how to qualify for the women that they want, which is no different than what Shira 7 says and no different than my own personal beliefs. So I did just want to come on and kind of be a middle bridge to this whole war between both sides of the dating world, because in a large part, you guys are, blaming the messenger when the message, if you think about it, overlaps. So yeah, that's all that I want to say today. And if you're one of these women that are coming in my comments and speaking negatively on Black men, you will get blocked, because I have nothing negative to say about Black men. I'm married to a Black man. I'm raising Black sons, and you won't ever hear that coming from me, okay? And if you believe that you're not the kind of woman that Black men want, then go where you're valued. I mean, I really don't get it when people come on here and are trying to put their 2 cents in the comments, but then when I go on their page and their channel, they don't have any videos. Don't try to come on my platform and elevate your opinion. If you really believe in what you want to talk about, then you'll start your own channel and speak on it for yourself. You can easily click off if you don't agree. And to be honest, I really don't care who doesn't agree, because at the end of the day, I really don't have to be doing this. I don't have to work. I'm still, whether you like me or not, I'm still gonna be rocking Chanel and driving a Porsche. So your opinion is not going to pay my bills, and it really just doesn't matter. And if you're triggered by that statement, it's because you don't believe that you can accomplish that for yourself. So, level up your mindset. Anything's possible.
As I stated in the beginning of the video, this is not a bashing video. This is only for teaching purposes. And it seems that she had a lot of vitriol for women that disagreed with his rhetoric, but she had no issues with anything that he said. And he said a lot of problematic things. And one of the problematic things that he said very shortly before he passed is at the end of this video. And if she was an avid listener of Kevin Samuels, she should have come across this content. And I just am curious to know why she would overlook things that he said that were problematic, but have so much smoke for women, specifically Black women, that disagreed with his dangerous ideas. And it seems that she had it boiled down to that women who disagreed with Kevin Samuels were just not desirable, and they needed to raise their desirability. And it seemed that she got a little mean at the end, but like I said, we will have grace for her. I'm pretty sure when she sees clips of this, even if she never sees my video from other people, she will see why people had the issues with Kevin that they had, because he said a lot of problematic things that he did not take back. I would also like to mention that I think it's important for trad wives to have their own source of income, because in this situation, since she is no longer with her husband, I hope she will be able to maintain her Porsche and whatever other possessions that she has. And this is sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I hope that she can maintain her lifestyle, and hopefully her YouTube channel will blow up and she will get a business, expand her business so that she can support herself and her children. I got the following clip from Lexus Exodus because I didn't want to go through Kevin Samuels' old channel to find it. So if you would like to check out the clip on her channel, I will link it down in the description box below.
If you're not getting back to the child's father, how do you think you can make your asset how do you think you can make your child an asset to the kind of man you want to marry?
How can I make my child an asset?
To the kind of man you would want to marry?
I feel like I would have to train her to be an asset, as in get her ready for life in general. Put her in classes, make sure she's smart, make sure she's not, put in that time to make her a better person. Correct?
I'm asking. No, I'm asking because
am I right?
No, the question is how to make your child an asset to that man. That makes her an okay person. But how can you adopt? And this is a question all women are going to have to answer for themselves. How are my children benefiting you as my husband?
I never thought about that.
Well, and that's the problem.
What would you suggest? I'm just wondering because
I would say it's going to be extremely difficult. But what I would suggest is women who actually think about it from the man's side, understanding that my child today is a liability because it costs. So number one, is she well-mannered, well-behaved, smart, taken care of? Does she understand? And do I really believe that you're going to come second to my husband? Is my husband going to come first? Or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right? Let's say we have 2 kids together, and your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower. Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower. Kevin looked at me getting out of the shower.
At first he says, what would you do if Kevin touched, and then he corrected himself to say, looked at me getting out of the shower. Both scenarios are out of line. And I believe that with this line of questioning, he is trying to groom mothers to normalize the behaviors of fathers or stepfathers with looking or touching at children. In a few moments, you will see that it actually gets worse.
That would be the thing. You have to defend your seed. You have to defend your child.
But you also remember, you got 2 of my kids. So that means I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up. You got 2 of my kids, and off rip, your protective instinct says everything, including those other 2 kids.
Understood.
Do you?
No,
you said the relationship would have to end. So what would you tell our 2 children?
That's a tough situation.
No, you said the relationship would have to end. So
it would have to end, because
but what would you tell
any of my kids? If I had 3 kids, 1 by someone else and 2 by my
But what I'm telling you, what I'm saying is what we tell our 2 children.
Your half sister stated this happened, and this is not a comfortable situation. We have to part ways.
You get the fuck out. You can get the fuck out.
Because I'm not the one paying the bills.
No, because you're not taking my kids. See, that's what I mean. Y'all act like y'all got too much power.
It's not power.
First of all, you didn't even. I just said if she said it, you didn't even question whether or not the claim was there. Because that's your child. That's why I'm saying your child can never be an asset to anybody.
As you can see in this clip, Kevin is trying to condition the mother to not believe her daughter and to question her daughter. By this admission, you would think that if Isis were to have seen this video, she would disagree with Kevin because of her own personal tragic history growing up. Your parents should always believe you, just as Isis believed her daughters.
Because that's the bomb that's always there.
Okay.
What could a man do about that? I could provide everything. We could have children, and automatically you're gonna jump off rip, go for your child. So don't ask me to treat your child like it's biologically mine, when you be willing to blow up my biological children's shit for something else. And kids can say anything.
They can, but you have to protect your kids at all costs.
Then
you got to talk.
Then no. Leave. No. See, I want you to understand that you have no empathy for men. It's about you and your kid. I'm somebody's child.
Yeah.
What about those children we have together? Man, you're not right in this.
I'm not debating you.
We're debating the concept.
Yeah,
you got to protect your kids at all costs. So then you need to go be with your child's father, and y'all need to work that out so that can never come up. Because let's switch the situation. If I'm that child's biological father, and she comes out of the shower, and 10 years later, Daddy looked at me a certain kind of way, and I'm her biological dad, then what do you say? But you notice how you couldn't pull rank on me? You couldn't pull that. We got to separate.
So now Kevin provides a scenario in which he is the biological father of the girl who is saying, Mom, Daddy looked at me coming out of the shower. And the mother hesitated with responding, but she will still believe her child. As you will see later on, her response will still be the same. She just was a bit hesitant because usually fathers don't usually do that with their own children. More commonly, it's a stepfather that might do that. But yeah, she is still going to listen to her child. And this is why I wanted to play the clip, because Kevin actually was emboldening men who have this type of predilection to be able to be predatory against single mothers. And he was also conditioning or trying to condition single mothers or mothers to not believe their children if they say the man in the house, whether it's their father or the stepfather, did XYZ. His rhetoric was very dangerous.
You couldn't pull rank on me. You couldn't pull biological rank. You want to, but you're like, well, damn, it's his kid too.
Mm-hmm. It would have to be in situation as well.
And you have to get the fuck out. And you have to get out. And you have to get out.
Understood. I completely understand that.
So it would be for who? You be leaving.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that's fine.
You're talking about the in situation, I'd be leaving with my child.
I understand, Kevin.
And I want everybody in the audience to understand, this is why you don't deal with women with children, because, especially in our community, there is no blending families when this kind of stuff comes up. Because single mothers are too used to pulling rank.
Okay.
This is why single mothers are potentially so dangerous, because you're not used to having to actually split the responsibility. It's your child. And that's fine. But then why should any man have to deal with that?
Okay.
So I feel sorry for you ladies, but this is the positions a lot of women put themselves in, and then we're supposed to do what about it? Because if it was biologically my child, you said it will be over. Why would you not question your child? Why would you not question your? Why would you not just say, girl, whatever, that's your daddy?
So according to Kevin, he states that if a father was accused of seeing his daughter coming out of the shower and it making her feel uncomfortable, he's saying to the mom that the mom should respond as, girl, whatever, that's your daddy. So his response is to tell her to ignore what her child says.
Why would you blow up a marriage? Why would you just believe her?
Why would I just believe my daughter?
Yeah, children lie. Are you kidding me?
Excuse me?
So as you see, Kevin directly said, children lie. He was still trying to convince her that she should not believe her child, whether it's his biological child or his stepchild. The rhetoric that he spewed was dangerous. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I will make more content that is relevant to this subject matter. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope that you comment. I hope that you're down in the comments. I will link the original videos, or the original Lexus Exodus video in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Bye.